Yeah, I mean, ever since I was a really little boy, since I can really remember, I've always been dreaming about making a flying car. This will be a very exciting journey because it's the first time anything like this has ever happened on this planet. That's what's exciting about it. No one's ever made a flying car that really works, and no one's certainly ever flown one and driven one from London to Timbuktu. And, you know, I think it's one of those things that just, it captures the imagination. It's the world's first flying car that really works, that takes its own wings with it, and you can drive it around the road and it's road legal. Flying the car is quite an extraordinary experience because, to begin with, all we'd ever done was drive this thing. To suddenly be in the air in something that you're just used to driving is it's an amazing experience because, you know, we're suddenly sitting there in a car and it's flying along, looking down, you know, 100 feet down at the ground beneath you.
Well, you know, the spirit of adventure is still alive, and you know, there's people like Giles, myself, and my team who are really keen to keep pushing the boundaries for ourselves and for obviously Great Britain.
Well, that's the amazing experience. Being in a car that's actually flying along, I think, is something that when people actually have a go at it, they'll suddenly realise, my God, this is real. I can drive this thing around the city, and I can fly it across the sea, and I can fly it across places I never dreamt I could do before.
Actually, I must admit, I found it a little bit bizarre because you know, you're driving down the beach for your takeoff, and then all of a sudden, everything goes light. You know, the ground sort of suddenly disappears, and you're in the air. And I found myself, I don't know about you, John, I found myself trying to steer the car in the air, still driving, and actually you're not at all.
That's a very good point.
You know, I found myself gripping the wheel as if I'm still on the ground, and actually you're not. You're 100 foot up.
So the journey from London to Timbuktu, starting with our first major mission very early on in the thing, is to cross the Channel. Next thing is flying across France, and then down over the top of the Pyrenees. We'll probably have to fly up to about 9,000 feet to cross the mountains in the Pyrenees, which is going to be in the middle of winter. They're all going to be covered in snow. We're going to have to choose our route carefully so that if we do have any mechanical problems, we can actually glide down and land somewhere safely. And then once we've got over that, we'll be heading down through Spain. And our next big challenge, I think one of our biggest challenges, is crossing the Straits of Gibraltar, because that's quite a big distance. It's over a really treacherous bit of sea, huge currents there. We really ideally should have a support boat in case something goes wrong and we need to bail out. And once we get into Africa, then the big part of the adventure begins, because we'll be crossing wild landscapes, amazing, beautiful landscapes, desert, you know, extraordinary rock formations. It's going to be, and of course, in the middle of nowhere. There's no one who can help you if you get into big trouble.
The journey will take about 40 days, and I've got a great support team with bikes, 4x4s, and a support truck.